Hey, how you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey with day 3. We are on day 3 with our March Madness Prep for Life and Basketball Success program. That's right, we're going the whole month of April with helping parents with resources and empowerment to be able to help them help their athletes. So on day 3, today is March 3rd, 2024, day 3 of our Prep for Life and Basketball Success program. I want to talk about where does your athlete lay their hat in terms of their basketball ability, right? When they get on the court and play, where do they lay their hat? And here's what I mean. So yesterday, my 7-year-old son was playing in his Park District basketball game, and I told my wife midway through the game, it was a player on his team. I said, this guy, if I'm in the gym recruiting as a college coach, a former head college coach, if I'm in the gym recruiting, I see all the people that's scoring. I see all of that. The person that I want on my team is this person right here, right? And here's why I told her this. Because this young kid, this 7-year-old kid, he understands where he lays his hat when it comes to him on a basketball team, in a basketball program, particularly this team. And what I mean by laying his hat, because it's just normal for him. Oftentimes when people come home, right, and they take their hat off and they lay their hat down, that's where they are meant to stay for that particular amount of time. Does that make sense? And so this young man, right, he laid his hat on hustle. He laid his hat down on hustle. Every time there was a 50-50 ball on the ground, meaning every time there was a loose ball, every time there was an opportunity for he or someone else to get the ball, he was going after the ball, getting the ball. He was diving on the ground, getting the ball. He was attempting to get rebounds. Those deflected balls that were just bouncing around, nobody could get the rebound. He was the one going after them. Every time the ball was on the floor, you saw this young man on the ground in the scuffle with the tie-up, attempting to get the ball to help his team with another possession. Now, why am I saying all this? Because there are so many people, so many parents that feel like their athlete has to lay their hat on scoring. There's only one basketball, and everybody cannot score all the points. But more importantly, there will be some teams that they have identified who they want as their primary scorers. How and where can your athlete help their team without scoring? And this is a big one, because most people only see past scoring. They only see scoring. They don't see past scoring. So what else can your athlete do to garner the attention of coaches, scouts, officials, their teammates? And guess what? Everybody wanted to play with this young man because they know he was going to hustle and go after the basketball. Michael Jordan loved playing with Dennis Rodman because Dennis Rodman was going to go after the basketball and give him another attempt to shoot the ball. Now, this may be a little uncomfortable because you've been taught that your athlete has to score. They have to be able to shoot threes. They have to be able to score, probably even be able to dunk. The little things matter most. The little things matter most. Me as a former head college coach, I'm sitting in the gym watching 7-year-olds, and I'm getting excited because I'm saying, I know me. I know the pedigree of myself, my teams, how I coach. And this person fits my pedigree. So when coaches are looking at players, I'll say it, I've been saying it for decades. Coaches are looking for puzzle pieces. They're looking for puzzle pieces. Can your athlete fit this piece that we need? We may not need more scores. We may need people to rebound. We may need people to play defense. We may just need good teammates. But then we may need those dogs that's going to go after the ball, that's going to work, that's going to fight, that's going to do all of the dirty work to ensure that the team is successful. So I just want to offer today on day 3, right? Where does your athlete lay their hat? Where are they laying their hat when it comes to this game of basketball? Meaning, no matter what gym they go in, and no matter what coach that sees them, what will every coach say about them that's consistent? What is the consistent thing that your athlete does day in and day out on the basketball court? Now, something like hustle doesn't really need to be worked on because that's just in your heart. But if your athlete wants to lay their hat on defense, they have to work on defense. They have to get better at defense. If they want to lay their hat on being the best ball handler and not turning the ball over, not getting the ball taken away from them, they have to work on their ball handling. If your athlete does want to work on being the best three-point shooter, they have to work on their three-point shot. If they want to be a mid-range assassin, they have to work on their mid-range. You have to work on those things that you want to showcase. But those things that you showcase should be those things that's naturally effective and naturally helpful to your athlete as well as the team. See, because when your athlete is doing things that they just like to do, every time this young man, Keon, got on the ground for the ball, right, he didn't get up pouting, why ain't none of y'all on the ball? That's what he liked to do. That's what he liked to do. He likes to get on the ground, tussle it up, rough it up, get the ball for his teammates because, as I thought it to be, that's empowerment for this young man. What does your athlete do naturally, normally, that's going to empower them, that's going to push them, that's going to help them fit that puzzle piece to create a great picture? Does that make sense? Right? Lessons from a 7-year-old today. Lessons from a 7-year-old. Where does your athlete lay their hat? And when they lay their hat on that thing, they know that beyond any shadow of a doubt, they can compete with anybody doing the thing that they do best at any time, any place, any court, any classroom, any boardroom in the world. When they can stay in their natural self and do those things that they're naturally good at, they'll only get better at doing them, and they'll feel better about themselves in the process. And now guess what happens? Those things that they don't do as well, because they have the confidence and they're building the momentum and doing that thing that they like to do, the thing that they have challenges with, the things that they are limited in doing, will also enhance because of where they laid their hat. See, so many athletes try to lay their hat where they don't live. Right? A whole lot of athletes try to come in and they lay their hat and they don't belong there. Your athletes should lay their hat where they belong. Meaning they should lay their athlete on the things that they know that they can do. Just because they want to be a three-point shooter doesn't mean that they are a three-point shooter. Maybe they just need to be a layup lover, right? Just love layups. Now when they making those layups, now they can hit the floater in the mid-range. Now when they hitting the floater, they may make a three or more. But everything starts with that foundation. What are they great at? What are they good at? And then they need to lay their hat on that thing. Double down on it, right? Back from day one, right? Double down on it so that it can only get better and better and better and better and better. Because guess what? When coaches are looking at your athletes, and I'll end this with a short story, quick short story. There was a coach. He's currently a head college coach right now, I believe Green Bay, right? University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. Sundance Wicks. And Sundance told me this about one of my former players. They were kind of on him pretty hard. Now, this former player of mine in high school is currently a pro. He's currently a pro. Been playing pro for about 6-7 years now. But they were playing in the city championship of Chicago, right? And I saw him at the city championship, and I said, hey, are y'all here to watch? Like, y'all still offering them? He said, I don't really think so. I said, why not? Like, y'all was just on them 2 weeks ago. He said, yeah, but here's what we discovered. He does a lot of things good, but we can't pinpoint one thing that he does great. So they stopped recruiting him because they said he did a lot of things well, but they couldn't figure out what's the one thing he does great. They couldn't decide or figure out where he lays his hat. And because they couldn't figure out where he lays his hat, they couldn't fit him into the puzzle. Does that make sense? Because now they may be trying to fit him into a place where someone already resides. So where's your athlete laying that hat? All right. So here's what I want you to do for today. Going back, everything is a carryover. The way I coach, the way I teach, everything is a carryover, right? I want you today as a parent. I want you, it's going to almost be like a game show. I want you to write down, where do you think your athlete should lay their hat? And then I want you to ask your athlete where they think they should lay their hat. Then I want you to see if you and your athlete are on the same page about where they should lay their hat, where their focus should be. Now, that doesn't mean that the focus can change or that the focus shouldn't change. The focus may change once they master a thing, right? Dennis Rodman, he laid his hat on defense, but then he laid his hat on rebounding when he got to the Bulls. He was a defensive threat with the Pistons. And then with the Bulls, he was just an amazing rebounder. Was he a good rebounder with the Pistons? Absolutely. He also made three-point shots, though. He used to run down court with his hand up like this, like Black Power. Go and look it up on YouTube. Dennis Rodman's rookie year, Dennis Rodman was averaging about 12, 14 points. He would make at least 1 or 2 threes a game. But Chuck Daly, the coach, right, got him to lay his hat on defense. And that sustained him. And they won 2 championships. And then when he got to the Bulls, he laid his hat on rebounding. The defense was already there. Now he just shifted, and now he's going to lay his hat other places. Like astronauts or football players, right? They plant their flag. Where they lay their hat is also another way of saying, where are they planting their flag? Does that make sense? Right? Does that make a little more sense? So if you can't get with the where do they lay their hat, where are they planting their flag? What's their go-to? Now they know when it's not going well for them in the game. That key, I know I can get on the ground for a loose ball, and that's going to hype me up to get me going. Where's your athlete lay their hat? Where do they plant their flag? What's going to get them going in days of despair? In times where the ball's not going in? When the referee's not calling the calls that they want? When it's cold outside? When it's hot outside? When it's not going well? What can they look back on and say, let's go get it? All right. Hey, this is day 3, right? Peace. This is day 3 of our parent resource and empowerment program. Now listen, if you like this, right, and you still want to get in, registration is still open, right? $97 for the month. We also have a $57 package where you get a portion of the program, all right? But listen, for less than a cup of coffee in the morning, you get this each and every day throughout the month of March as we go through this March Madness. And then weekly, once a week for 4 weeks, we get to hop on a video and you get to listen live to a live class, and we do a Q&A. All right? So if you're interested, all right, wherever you see this video, just drop the link. I'm sharing this one with y'all today, but I'm about to send it to the private group so that they can get fed today. All right? Coach Carvel Bailey, where's your athlete later hat? Where are they planting that flag? Peace.